genetically modified broccoli. And they cloning animals, we eating the meat. The next thing they turn around, they cloning you and me. The way they do the human race is a ridiculous crime. They call it Kaepernick's knee. Got y'all losing your minds. Come on. Let me off this roller coaster. Hey. I wanna ride no more. Ride no more. Let me off this roller coaster. I don't wanna ride no more. Ride no more. Every time I turn on my radio, it's the sex lies, the misogyny show. All day, every day in my ear. If you keep your clothes on, then they call that rare. Vulgarity, they raising the ante. It's the road less traveled if you wanna be classy. I look at it all and I'm completely inspired to answer all negativity with the song of the smile. And I'ma stand up for what I believe in, and I don't care who thinks I'm preaching. Pay attention to the way you're spending your time, cause keeping up with the Kardashians is falling behind, yeah. Let me off this roller coaster. I don't wanna ride no more. Ride no more. Let me off this roller coaster. I don't wanna ride no more. Ride no more. Round and up and down, and it's making me nauseous. Won't you take me on this ride? I've got to be more cautious. All this talk of human rights overseas. Meanwhile, our black community is under siege. Genocide is focused on the African race, especially in the streets of this USA now. They say that there's a war on terrorism, and the powers that be, they need to look in the mirror. I thought that we lived in a democracy, but I don't remember anyone asking me, no. They said that our vote would be our boys. This insanity can never be anyone's choice, cause the whole world is in need of desperate help. But the first thing that we need to do is look at ourselves, yeah. Let me off
This roller coaster, I don't want to ride no more. I don't want to ride no more. I don't want to ride no more. All right. I just got caught up. And I got caught up in India and Irene. Boy, I tell you, she knows how to deliver. How do I cut this thing off now?
Amateur pornographic videos. I would not believe it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. If it didn't make me mad, it would make me cry. Now how are we gonna get ourselves out of this mess? It's time for us to elevate our consciousness and raise our voice to be the men we want our girls to marry. Make love, peace, and respect the priority.
I think Miss Irene said it best. It's time to elevate our consciousness. Ooh, that's deep. Facebook family. Hello. Happy New Year. Happy Kwanzaa. Really, happy Thanksgiving. I don't think I've seen y'all in a while. It's been a minute. But anyway, I just wanted to come on for a little bit, just to chat a little while about a couple of things that was sitting on my mind, sitting on my heart. I know a lot of you all have not heard from me in so long, and a lot of you all are not hearing from me because the day after the presidential election, I lost my entire social media, Facebook network, under the name David Jeffrey Grogan, that most of you all know. Jeffrey happens to be my middle name. And after the day after the election, Facebook police, the Russians, whoever, I don't know. Truthfully, I don't care. But anyway, they decided to shut down the entire operation. I call it an operation because not only was it my main page and my personal page, but I actually managed several other pages as the administrator, all these other different titles. When you manage a page, I can't think of them right now. I just having a senior moment. But I do want to apologize to so many of you. I won't say so many, I may be exaggerating. But those of you who thought that I somehow unfriended you, I did not unfriend anybody. So can y'all help me spread that message? David Jeffrey Grogan, have not unfriended anyone that I know. And I can say that because my page had 5,000 friends. And I can honestly say it took a very, very long time to build that 5,000 friends with 5,000 people that I actually knew. Unlike what I have now, this Dave Grogan page, I'll be quite honest with you. I don't know half of who the people are because it's like starting all over again. And so I get friend requests, and as long as it doesn't seem like a scam, and I vet them a little bit, but I don't get too deep into it. I don't have time to do all that. But I get probably 15 to 20 friend requests a day. A lot of them are scams. A lot of them are all kinds of different things. And then, every once in a while, I do recognize that this is somebody I know. And I get the inboxes. David, is this have your account been attacked? I got a request from you. And so I now just tell people, I have the same standing line. No, this is actually Dave Grogan. Now, mind you, I have this Dave Grogan account, but I don't have access to the credentials to it. So I don't know what could happen to it later on. But I've been able to use it. I've been able to change the pictures, the profile, that whole kind of a thing. And so I just want that message out there. I apologize to those of you all who thought that somehow I unfriended you. Would never do anything like that to people that I care about and people that I actually know. So I just wanted to get that out there. I don't know how long it's going to take before I actually get my entire network back. I don't think I'll ever have David Jeffrey Grogan Facebook ever again. I think Facebook shut that down permanently. Well, I don't think I know. But it's all good because what we'll be doing, build back better. That should be the line for 2021. Let's all build back better. I like it. I ain't got a problem with it. It's all good. But I did want to get that out there. And I really just wanted to come on and wish you all a happy new year. And lots been pondering on my mind about different things, what's going to go on in 2021. And I watched the news. And one of the things that captured my attention, and I think all of you all can relate to this, everyone seems to have a totally different perspective on 2020. And perspective is what it is. And so I kind of wanted to share a little bit of my perspective. I say a little bit because I don't want anything that I say be misinterpreted. If you ever watch President Obama speak, he always stutters, and because he's trying to be so careful about everything he says, because every word that comes out of his mouth is being scrutinized. And that's the nature of the political world, that people take things out of context intentionally to try to twist your words and different things like that. So if those of you all who have never noticed or who have noticed and wonder why he's very hesitant about everything that comes out of his mouth, it's for that reason. And so I say that to you as I begin to share my perspective on 2020, just my personal perspective. And I've heard a lot of different perspectives. I just don't want mine. Not that I don't want to be comparing myself to President Obama. Let's be serious here, y'all. I'm just using that as an example because I do realize that with COVID-19, 220 is very sensitive. It's sensitive to me and it's sensitive to a lot of people. So I just don't want my perspective to be taken out of context. Because for me personally, I've been able to appreciate it. Let me just say it that way. I've been able to appreciate 220. Set aside the COVID, set aside, so many people, bless their hearts, thoughts and prayers go out to the many people who have lost their lives, the many people who have been sick. And I will share with you all, since I think she's gone public, even my own child believes she has COVID. And she's just in the process of getting over that and just in the process of sort of coming back around. But I say that because she was never tested and diagnosed with COVID. She diagnosed herself. And I'll be quite candid with you. I trust her judgment. I think that she's probably done the research. She knows the symptoms. She knows how she feels. And she concluded that she had COVID. And she claimed COVID. And so that was probably a couple of weeks ago. And so now she's recovering. She's doing well. Maybe I'll share one of her more recent videos. She's really, really into the metaphysics, and she's very spiritual into the metaphysics world. And so I'll share some of her things that she's doing. But she is doing well. As most of you all know, who was a part of my original Facebook. She is a van lifer. She drove her van from here, Maryland, all the way to Texas, Dallas, Texas. She took about a week and a half trip, a really beautiful journey that she captured via video. She went mountain climbing, she just went sightseeing, and she captured it all on a video. And in the process of that, she's teaching or telling people about van life and the purpose of van life. And that's a whole interesting culture in itself. She's no longer this little person here anymore. As some of you all who know me will remember that little person. She's now 22 years old. She's grown. She's independent. She's an independent thinker. She's no longer the little girl. Remember, those of y'all remember this when she wrote this book when she was under that name. You know, that she's no longer that little girl anymore. She's 22 years old, and I love the fact that she has an independent mind, because it's really all I wanted from a child. I wanted my daughter just to be a good person and to have an independent mind, and everything after that, healthy obviously, everything after that is a bonus. And so she is just that. She's healthy, she has an independent mind, she do her own thing. Some will say she tick to her own drum. And so she's a minimalist, and she believes in a minimalistic lifestyle. She doesn't believe in excess spending and having excess. And so she thinks that for her, at least for now, she truly enjoys van living. And she has not lived in that van since she got there with her friends in Texas. But she goes to her van and do her videos and takes her little time out period and shares different things like this. She has her own social media network, her own social media following, and she's an educator. Wonder where she got that from. She's teaching about something quite often, daily. So if you all are interested in learning about metaphysics, learning about van life, learning about, MSRSs or something that deals with sound and touch and senses and all this type of stuff, she's like a whiz. And so she's at Haley Bree Grogan, or Haley Bree, I'm not sure. I'm sure she limits me, or limits some of her. I don't see all of her stuff. She has a YouTube channel, which I'm a subscriber. She has a Patreon channel, which I'm also a subscriber. Paid, by the way. The Patreon, you got to pay. If you want to hear from Haley Bree Grogan, she done set that thing up, but you got to get a subscription. Let me find out. But anyway, all of that, is a part of, in my world, some of that is a part of what sort of came out of COVID, that I just try to put in perspective. I try to see what good came out of it. We all have different personalities. I have an overly optimistic personality, type B personality, whereas my world and my daughter's world, I guess now she's studying that on a whole nother level. But, we see things, we see the good and the positive in everything. And so when it comes to my perspective on 2020, I just can only see all the great things that came out of it. I spent a lot of time. I've got over 80,000 pictures on my iPhone, and I have like 5,000 videos. And that iPhone, that thing I'm on right now, my God, this ain't a commercial for iPhone. They ain't paying me, but Lord. But I said that to say, I spend a couple hours a day just kind of looking through my pictures from 2020, and well, not just 2020, but dating back to however many pictures I got, from 2016, and really just kind of reflecting on the realities of life. And I would challenge you all, those of you all that got iPhones or any kind of phone that stores a lot of pictures, if you ever really need a boost, if you ever really just kind of want to boost your serotonin, we know those of you all who have followed my health talk, we've talked about serotonin, we've talked about dopamine, we've talked about just about everything over the summer during the COVID. Because there was a period of time where every Friday I gave a segment on something, and while my daughter was here, it was really nice to have her share or be partners with me on some of the things that we did on Facebook Live, educational things, because I really wanted people to hear a young person's perspective on some things, tattoos, her thoughts on all her tattoos. She's really tatted up, her fingers, her hands, and all neck, and all this kind of stuff, which seems to be quite extreme for with a person like me. But she appreciates the tattoos and she shares how she feels now. Does she regret it? Don't necessarily regret it, but will she do some things a little bit different? Yeah. And so it is what it is. And so again, I think that for me, COVID has really given me a time to take a break. Those of you all who know my world, at least most of you've seen my other world, it's just very hectic. Very active. Let me just say that. Those of you all who know that, especially with the political stuff, people know, Grogan, you everywhere, you do everything. And that was my life for probably the last 5 or 6 years. And what COVID gave me an opportunity to sit back and relax, enjoy my place. I've never spent so much time in my place. I'm just, in the rat race I lived in, you're just in and out. I'm going to work, going to event, going to that. I'm invited to tons of stuff and just everywhere. And I've spent very little time at home, really just coming here and sleep. And so now I've really learned to appreciate my space. I've done things to make my space more comfortable. Everything from my balcony to my home office. Every place within my home, I have taken time to try to make it, comfortable, because we were stuck at one point. And so that time of reflection, rejoicing, repenting, remembering, all of these different things, it's we were forced into this by way of COVID. And so I think that, I'm not going to go too spiritual on the God piece of it. I believe that everything happens for a reason. I just honestly do. I believe everything happens for a reason. And I think there was a reason for this. I think it was a wake-up call. I spoke about this. I think it was a wake-up call for all of us to ask ourselves, were you prepared? Were you prepared? And most people weren't prepared. And there's no way you can prepare for a pandemic. So being prepared is all relative. But it is a time to be honest with yourself and assess, where are you mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, all of these things. We should have been taking this time. At least I know I have. I have taken this time to really take a second look at my world and asked myself, was I prepared? And it's an eye opener. And so that's what I mean by we're being forced to rejoice into our realities, because a lot of us don't want to face our realities. See, one thing about Dave Grogan, I ain't got no problem facing my realities, because I just don't believe you can grow if you're not willing to take a close look at you. I think Michael Jackson said it best. He says, if you want to make this world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. That was one of the most powerful things I think he's ever said, because a lot of times taking a look at ourselves is very, very difficult. And so I think with COVID-19, Rona, I think it forced us to take a look at ourselves, and especially take a look at the most important things, which I've talked a lot about, is our mental health. Where are we? Where are you mental health wise? How did you handle this? How did your body react? How did you react? How did things look for you? Are you okay? And so I think, to me, again, not to downplay the realities of the many deaths that came out of this, but I do think that it's an opportunity to look at what good came out of this. I think that, those of you all, just a few things that came up, I think that those of you all who support the Democratic ticket, and, we've got a president-elect who has made history in appointing or selecting the first black female vice president, who clearly will be in line to potentially be our first black female president, our first female president. I don't want to get too carried away in identity, because I think that and that's a separate subject. Maybe talk about it another day. It has identity. Is identity politics going to truly help the Democratic Party? We could talk about that another time. Is identity politics going to help the Democratic Party? Is it going to help politics, period? But in this case, it certainly should be noted and I'm exaggerating. If Mr. Biden or VP Biden elect doesn't do anything else, he's done more than any other president in the history of this country, y'all. If he doesn't do anything else, we don't even need to talk about nominating a black man to oversee the Department of Defense. Come on, y'all. The Department of Defense has got the largest budget in the federal government. He's saying, I got a black man that's going to manage the largest budget in the federal government. And so I think President-elect Biden so far has done exactly what he said he was going to do. And so if anybody's got a problem with that, okay, maybe it's time for a self-check, I think that nothing is perfect. We don't need to figure out what is he doing wrong. I think we need to look directly at what he's done right and what he's showing and the promises that he made to us as people, that he's going to govern. The thing I like, one of the most important things, he's going to govern for everybody, not just the people that voted for him, that paid money, donated to him, because that's what this should be about. And I think that, I know how this thing works in politics. The president of the United States sets the tone for what happens, what everybody else does. Do you think it's just coincidental that people are all of a sudden pouring billions of dollars into HBCUs? You think that's coincidence? You think people just decided to do that? No, this president-elect has set the tone that can change the trajectory of how working class people and black people live. How our kids, how our grandkids, their kids, how they will see the world. And so nothing against those people who went against them and they don't understand it. They would rather have the current president. I'm not sure. I mean, everybody has their own reason. I think, I always say perspective is derived from experience. And so I don't ever challenge anybody else's experiences. If you had experiences that suggest that the current president would be better for us, good for you. I wish you with you. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But I just say that, this happened during COVID. A lot of this happened as a result of the death of George Floyd. This is a time to change the whole world. This has happened as a result of COVID. So again, just trying to look at the positive things that came out of COVID, even on the local level. When I look back and see some of the wins this year, when I look at Judge Gladys Weatherspoon, take on the entire system, get 280,000 votes in Prince George's County for the circuit court judge. Wait a minute. Good God have mercy. Right. You know what I mean? Wait a minute. Over District Heights, my good friend, Mayor Jonathan Medlock took on the system. We could talk about what the system is later on a different subject, but I'm just going to say took on the system. And is the new mayor over there in District Heights? Come on. Good God Almighty. We could talk about Darren Swain, former two-time delegate, House of Delegates, Maryland House of Delegates, General Assembly, the new president, Bowie State University National Alumni Association. Good God Almighty, y'all. There's a lot of things, great things that have gone on in 220, and I think that we have to just take our time and zero in on some of those things, because it's easy to harp on, what went bad, because the news helps us with that. The news, Malcolm X said it best many years ago. The media controls the minds of the masses. I refuse to let my mind be controlled so I can look at the news, because I'm a news fanatic, by the way, y'all, just FYI. I'm just addicted to the news. I like to know what's going on. But, I know how to keep it in perspective, because the media controls the minds of the masses, right? And so, as they continue to pour in the news, as many people die, that narrative could change. We could easily, tomorrow, we could start talking about how many people lived. Right? We could easily change that narrative. But that's a choice. That's a political choice, whatever drives the media. And so there are a lot of people that survived COVID. There are probably, I don't want to get into numbers because I don't know, but I do know that there are a lot of people that survive from COVID. And then some people say just different of opinions. But, some of the medical people say more people have died from the flu than have died from the COVID. But that's not the narrative that the media is selling us, because that's what it is. It's selling us on whatever they want us to believe. So I just challenge you all to, kind of do what you have to do to keep yourself positive. Look at the positive. Go through your iPhone and look at your pictures and all that stuff from good time. Man, I don't know about y'all. Those of y'all know me. Y'all know I'm just have a good time. So it's easy for me to go back in my pictures and reflect on all the good times and all the great things that has happened. Positivity, Priscilla, is a perspective, right? It's a mindset. Mayor Matlock, what's going on, man? How you doing? Sarah was bragging about you, man. Just talking about some of the positive things that happened in 2020. Maybe we should all just make a list and maybe share it on Facebook publicly. This list 10 good things that happened. And good meaning maybe you had COVID and you survived it. But I know in my mind, I can only sit back and think about all the good things that happened in 2020. Right, Mayor Matlock? A lot of good things happened. Brother, you worked your behind off. You worked that. Nobody gave you anything. Nobody gave you a thing. You worked your behind off. Excuse my language, y'all. Become the mayor of District Heights. But there were so many wins, man. Oh my God. I just want to point out, this is just a few of them. There was just so many great victories, on so many different levels. Now we still got to keep pushing. I don't want to get too much into the politics, but you see what I'm wearing, y'all. You ain't see. Let me just stand up. Let me just stand up. It's a Warnock life for us. It's a Warnock life for us. Okay. So those of you all that we can keep this momentum going for us. We can keep the positivity going for us. We can get involved in what's going on in Georgia. I'm deeply involved. I'm thinking about getting on a plane and going down there to help out, because I understand the significance of what we can do in Georgia. So much we can do in Georgia. I get that it's an educational piece, and a lot of us don't understand why we just had the presidential election, and now that people want us to vote again, and they don't know what the world is a runoff, what's the difference between the red state and the blue states, the House, the Senate, all this stuff, that's going on. But the best way to describe a runoff, it was like, okay, at the presidential election, it was a tie. We know Biden won the president, but the down balance, which means the other people, important people, the senators, the U.S. senators, they got in the tie. Nobody won. So they got to do a runoff. And so, and what happens is that this runoff election is historic. Ossoff. I like that, his slogan. Vote your ass off. That helped me learn how to spell his name. O-F-F. S-O-F-F. Ossoff. It's a Warnock life. Reverend Raphael Warnock. My goodness, he was the pastor for Congressman John Lewis. AME Church down in Atlanta. Same church of Martin Luther King Jr. If you never heard that man speak, both of them, let me be clear. I'm very impressed with Senator, hopefully, Ossoff, because he's a powerful speaker too. When I listen to power, I want to hear real words. I want to hear real talk. I don't want to hear you reading from the script and all this. Somebody done told you to say something, and all you know is what somebody told you to read. See, I listen to the genuineness of it, the authenticity of it. Does it make sense? Is it relevant? And John Ossoff, obviously, Reverend Warnock is just both of them are good speakers. Both of them are going at it in a sense, and we got to change what political correctness looks like and speak the truth to people. Tell people exactly what's right, what's wrong, and what needs to be fixed. That's it. All this, no script. And both of them are great, and both of them have an opportunity to flip the Senate. What does that mean? That means that now that if we flip the Senate, we can cut down the power of Mitch McConnell in there, because now Democrats control the Senate. Now, I know those of you all are saying, well, what does that mean, Democrats control the Senate? What they going to do? You know, they ain't done nothing in a while. They ain't done nothing for us. I know some of y'all are thinking that. But let's all step out in faith like we did with Biden, VP Biden, elect Biden. I stepped out in faith. And look at what he's done. I think it's going to continue. I think it's going to get better. But in order for them meaning Biden, Harris, to be effective, they've got to have the control of the Senate. Because if they don't have the control of the Senate, everything they trying to do, the John Lewis Voting Act, the George Floyd Act, all of these, the voting, everything that we're trying to do civil rights wise, they will not be able to do if they don't control the Senate. So those of you all who know people in Georgia, text your friends, email your friends, everybody New Year's Eve, call them and just tell them, please go out there and vote and do whatever you got to do. Whatever you got to do, read up on these candidates, figure out what we need to do, and let's get people out voting. Because that was the other thing that came out of this year. Look, these folks came out now. Now, y'all know women came out. But I don't want you to make no mistake about it. They came out. They came out because we made it simple. We explained on so many levels. We explained why we have to vote. Systematic racism, fathers' rights, criminal justice reform, health inequalities, economic empowerment, environmental protection, employment opportunities. Come on, y'all. Employment opportunities, all of these things impact our lives, all these things. So let's keep that momentum going. I'm going to shut it down. Y'all know me. Y'all do know I can talk straight for about 4 hours. You just give me a subject matter, anything that comes to my head, I'll be all over the place. Go from here. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about health? Talk about politics? You want to talk about life? You want to talk about your brain? You want to talk about how your feet don't work? Why your feet do hurt? Anything you want to talk about? You know I can do that. So anyway, I think I'm gonna shut it down right now. And one other thing, I guess. Let me just cover this. I don't know how I missed this. Of course, many people are asking, David Grogan, are you gonna be running for office in 2022? ain't a day to go by that somebody don't ask me this via text, via email, via message. Grogan from Maryland 222. What does that mean? What you gonna do? Are you ready? So the real answer to the question is, I'm not sure. Because there's a lot of factors that play into a decision to run for office. There's a lot of factors. What I will say is that I'm not suggesting this in any form of secrecy. Those of you all know me personally, ain't no secrets. I don't believe in that. Once I make a decision to run for office, you all will be the first to know. Ain't no hide, don't tell nobody. I think about running for office, don't tell nobody. We don't operate like that. Y'all know we don't operate like that. Especially you Oxon Hill Clippers, y'all know we don't operate like that. Those of you who all went to Oxon Hill and we played football, at our pep rallies, the day before the pep rally, we would show the other team exactly what we're going to do the next day in slow motion, just so everybody understand. Here's what the play is going to be, and we would do it in slow motion. Right? Hawkins, Chicken Hawk. Remember that? We would show them. And so I operate off that mentality. I'm not trying to be secretive or anything like that. It's just that I'm not sure right now because there's some other things that I'm working on that if they come to fruition, I may not be able to run for office. Let me just say that. There's some other things that if they come to fruition, I may not be able to run for office. But if it doesn't for whatever reason, I'm going to see y'all in 222. You better believe that. Now, what role am I interested in or what will I do? I still don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to be elusive or anything like that because I'm at the age now where my mind is just, I'm balancing realities of life. And I'll be quite candid with you. You know, I'm a public safety professional. That's my expertise. That's what I do. That's my background. You know, I love education. And so, you know, a part of me, my spirit right now, if I had to make a decision today, my spirit is telling me that I'm needed in public safety. I'll just be quite candid with you all. My spirit is telling me that I'm needed in public safety. And I know I'm needed in public safety. But the other side of me, the mature side of me, not the mature, but the other side of me is also interested in moving away from that and dealing with public safety on a different level. And what I mean by that is I think that being in the House of Delegates, the General Assembly, lawmaker, policymaker, I think that that's also where I'm needed. And I think that that's also where my genuine interest at this stage of my life is. I think that we need people in Annapolis that have real experience. Real experience. I'm not talking about perceived experience. I'm talking about real experience. People that have real experience, people that have real wisdom, and most importantly, people who are bold and educated. Because if you don't have the education and you don't have the experience, you can't be bold. You can't, you can't, not suggesting that you have to be independent and a team player to be effective as far as I'm concerned in Annapolis, because you got to work with a lot of different people. But a good legislator has to be somebody who can bring real perspective and not afraid to bring real perspective on behalf of you all. And so that's what I would bring, right? And so I wouldn't be somebody that's a face for someone else. I wouldn't be any of that. I would be someone that could truly help us. I would be someone that the folks all over the state, all over the county, all over this country would know that I can help us, right? And so that's where I'm torn. Not sure. Hey, Monica. Hey, Alexis. How are you all? Good to see y'all. Monica, we're just talking about 222. I'm just being candid with folk, whether I'm going to run or not. Not sure yet, but I'm ready. I miss campaigning. Yeah, I am. I'm happy. That's why I go back and look at pictures. I love campaigning. I really do. I do. Ain't nothing like that. Fun, right? And so I'm just kind of talking a little bit about what my realities are right now as far as whether I will run for office again and where I think I'm needed, whether I'm needed in public safety or whether I'm needed at the General Assembly and the House of Delegates. Let the spirit drive that. That's what I live off. I live off spirit. I'm very honest. I'm very candid, very transparent when it comes to those kind of everything. I don't know. But right now, like I said, all of that will depend on something else that I'm working on that would not allow me to actually run for office. It's still political. I see the world through politics and sports, so everything I'm doing is still political, right? And so I'll make a decision. And once a final decision is made, like I said, there's won't be no secrets and all that stuff. And I don't tell nobody. I don't want nobody to know. I can't wait to tell y'all. I'll be the first one to jump out and tell you what we're going to do. So I'm ready to go. I got an incredible team. Y'all know, those of y'all who follow us, we do. We built a larger team. Our team has expanded, believe it or not, because we never, been in 3 campaigns, but we just getting warmed up. And, my team like Marines, some people may think we've lost some elections. Well, David, you've been in 3, you lost. We ain't lose none of them. Let's be serious here. We ain't lose none of them. Delegate Darren Swain said it best many years ago. Sometimes you win and you don't actually win, and sometimes you lose, you don't actually lose. See, we never lost. We ain't never gone to sleep at the wheel. We've always stayed woke. We stayed together. We have a system. We understand the system, and we're going to play the system. So we had it 3 times. I promise you, we ain't going before rounds. I promise you, it's a 4-round fight. We ain't going before rounds if we go in 222. So just want to put that out there. But anyway, I got long-winded. Y'all know how to do. Next time, I think what I'm going to do, I noticed some of the more mature speakers, because I just speak off the cuff. I don't have any notes. I don't have anything. Okay, what am I going to say? Let's get on whatever the Spirit tells me to say. That's it. And all I want to do is come wish y'all a happy New Year's. Just want to share a little bit of my perspective on 220 to hopefully shape how you see 220. And again, I didn't want to minimize the realities of the death and the sicknesses and the hardships, financial hardships, and all these different things. That's a reality. I don't want to minimize that or downplay that, but I did just want to share like a different perspective and my honest perspective. I've enjoyed 2020, not enjoyed it, but I've appreciated, because you can't say, it would maybe sound insensitive if I say I enjoyed it, but I've appreciated 2020. I've so much good came out of it for me. It really has. Just the opportunity to slow down, forced to slow down, shut down, rejoice, reflect. Just that opportunity has just been great to me. Everything has been well. My health is good, Ain't been nobody gym now. I'm going to get my behind in the gym Saturday morning. I ain't been there in about 3 years. I just stopped being there the last week to make sure my membership was good. But, we'll pull it together. That's what we do. Don't take long. 3-4 months. That's it. We ready. Ready for campaign. Ready to go. Got to make sure I'm ready, because if we're going to go at it, probably no later than March 2021 to get ready for 2022. So we got to be in shape physically, mentally. I'm ready mentally, but I don't know if I'm ready physically yet, because y'all know I go out there and put them signs up myself. I go out and put up 10 8x10, 4x whatever the big signs are, billboard. I go out, put them all up by myself if I have to. So we got to get back in shape. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to 2021. Again, like I said, for me, 2020 was good. It was great. I mean, that's great, but it was good. No major hardships. Baby girl's living, she's breathing. That's all that matters. Travel, Texas on her own, be good. So just want to share that with you all again. Thank you all again. And remember, if you ever hear anybody say Grogan unfriended me, please share with them that I didn't. I just Facebook unfriended you, police. So I'm glad to see y'all. I'm glad to have done this. I will probably come back on maybe sometime next year. I'll be back next year. Talk about, I think I'll come back, because I think I'll need to come back and talk a little bit more, getting more in detail about the Warnock life and Ossoff. Vote your ass off. Vote your ass off. It's a Warnock life between now and January the 5th. Hey, Tammy. I talked to Auntie this morning. She was fired up. She like me. Auntie just like me. She's a female older version of me. She fired up. Happy New Year. She doing her thing. I'm waiting for that announcement. That's another one. That's another one that I just got information today that we can't talk about yet, but we will. But that was another good one that came out of 220. But anyway, y'all be good. I will speak to you soon. I know certainly before January the 5th. I just want to jump on before the New Year's hit, because I know folk will start drinking and all that and doing what you do, praising and yelling and screaming and all that kind of stuff. So I just want to hop on and say, hey, wish you a happy New Year. Blessings to your family. And please know, I love you all, man. Love y'all. Thanks. I'll talk to y'all soon.